Well, or that was the foxhole one.
That was the foxhole one.
This Amateur Radio Roundtable is brought to you in part by ICOM America. All right, hello out there, everybody out there in internet land and on radio. This is August the 27th. Boy, the month is almost over. Man, September's going to be here real soon. Can't believe it. I'm Tom Medlin, your host tonight for Amateur Radio Roundtable. And we're here every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. And if you're out there listening on international shortwave, you're listening to us on WBCQ on 5130 kilohertz. And if you are listening out there, send us a signal report. You can send that to tom@w5kub.com. And if you have internet and you're listening, if you have internet, you can go watch the show live. It's kind of like a TV show almost, but it's not quite a TV show. But you can join us if you go to w5kub.com. We'd love to have you, and there's a chat room there. You can actually chat with us and join us there. Let's see, Katie's out tonight. Just talked to Martin. Martin was going to try to join the show tonight, but he's been out of town. He's just getting home, so we want to let him rest up a little bit. But we got Jason with us tonight. We got Rich with us. So we got some, I think, some interesting things to talk about tonight. And I'm not sure what Jason's going to talk about, but he told me he had a couple of things there he'd like to bring up on the show, and that'd be interesting. So join our Facebook group. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, it's called W5KUB. It's a ham radio group. It's not a personal page. And the Facebook group W5KUB has about 8,000 members in it, mainly all ham radio operators. I get a lot of requests to add me as a friend on Facebook. I don't really add people as friends on Facebook, so don't get upset if I don't add you. I use my Facebook mainly just for close few family members. I really don't want 8,000 people in my personal Facebook group, so you can always catch me on Facebook group W5KUB. Let's go out to our remotes and see who we got out there, and just check in with them there. So let's see. Here we go. All right, we've got Jason and Rich out there. Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing fine.
Tom, they're saying in the chat that you have a little bit of echo. I hear it just barely.
A little bit of echo. Okay.
It's just barely there.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'll try to readjust things here and try to get that echo out.
It's not that bad, really. I wouldn't have said anything except.
Well, no, I really would like to need to know, so I can try to get a handle on all this. We've made a lot of changes lately. You got so much going on here. It's been kind of a very hectic in a busy day today. But hey, how you been doing, man? I hadn't seen you in a couple weeks on the show here. You're at a different place, man. It looks like I'm smelling salt water.
Yeah.
Where are you?
The sun just went down like about 20 minutes ago or so, maybe half hour ago, and otherwise I might be sitting out on the deck. I'm on the Gulf Coast of Galveston, Texas, down here for the Labor Day holiday. We come down here every Labor Day, but we bought a rental house down here 2 or 3 years ago, and it rents all summer long and during holidays and various weekends throughout the year, but we always book it for ourselves during Labor Day. And it just so happened that the school started in the Houston-Galveston area about a week and a half ago. And usually when that happens, the rental activity dies down quite a bit. So we decided to come down here and spend a couple of weeks. We got here on Sunday, and we'll be here all through Labor Day weekend. Next weekend and go home the following Saturday. So we'll be here for about 2 weeks. But we just really like it down here. It's nice and calm and quiet. A lot less traffic than at home. So
and
good
you
time
got
to get down here.
You got perfect lighting there, man. I like the color back behind you. I mean, I kind of like this better than I like your ham shack.
Oh,
You know?
well, I'll take a picture of it and put it on my
Yeah,
green screen.
put it on.
My wife bought these pictures. It's a 3-part picture here of. I don't even think that's really Galveston, but it's hanging here in the house because it goes with the decor here in the beach themed house. So, yeah, I thought it looked good.
Well, let me ask you, if it's a beach themed house here and that water looks neat back there, do you have a Glenn Campbell song playing? You know, Galveston.
No.
Oh man,
This house that we bought down here, we had 5 or 6 different rental houses in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for several years, and we ended up selling all those, and we took the money that we got from those and put them into one Galveston house on the beach. We're actually the second row off the beach. We're not right on the water, but we're second row off the water. And the people we bought this house from had it as a second home. So
Yeah.
it's not decorated with a bunch of swordfish and mermaids and pastel colors and junk like that. You know, it's decorated like someone would decorate their personal home. So it's done up a little bit nicer than some of these places that have crabs hanging all over the wall down here. But
All right. Well, hey, we'll come back to you in a few minutes. But
Sure.
what do you want to talk about tonight? You got a couple subjects that you mentioned.
Right.
What-
The Tapper Digital Communications Conference that's coming up next month in September.
Okay.
I want to talk about that and a video I just posted yesterday on my channel, which was a collaboration effort between myself and 6 other YouTube guys. I'd like to mention that as well.
Okay. Yeah. We'll talk about that. Let's
Okay.
let's bring Rich in here and let's talk CQ here in a minute. But let me first bring him in. And Rich, you're not out on a porch tonight. You're in the shack.
I'm back in my shack, and the porch has been taken over by monarch caterpillars and butterflies and chrysalides. We've ended up adopting a whole lot of them too.
Now, do
Raised
they bother
temporarily.
you? Do they bother you, or are they just a nuisance out there? I mean,
Oh, they're in containers and carriers and things.
Oh,
so
okay.
they're well controlled.
oh, okay,
And,
cool.
Just released one this morning. Got another one going out tomorrow. We've got a butterfly garden in our local park and in our backyard as well. So it keeps us busy in the summertime, trying to help rescue the world's population of monarch butterflies, and they need it. They need the help.
Well, all right, thank you. Hey, thank you so much for the CQ subscriptions that we gave out at Huntsville. I just wanted, before I forget, I wanted to say you guys have been great supporters of the show, and there's been a lot of people out there that are getting CQ subscriptions because of you guys.
Well, we're very pleased to help out with that, and it was great to see you over the weekend in Huntsville, and of course to take part in the Young Ham of the Year presentation, which is always great.
Yeah, and we got that recorded, and I think I actually edited just to just the Young Ham of the Year, and it's out on our YouTube channel. If anybody missed it, just go to W5KUB and look for what is it? Young Ham of the Year. That'll be YHOTY, right?
That's right.
YHOTY. Man, I'll have to file it under TSSLTT. TSSLTT. That stands for Top Secret Stuff Like That. There used to be a cartoon I used to watch when I was little. Deputy Dog or somebody. Maybe somebody in the chat remembers that. TSSLTT. Top Secret Stuff Like That. But yeah, Young Ham of the Year. Just search for YHOTH, and it was a neat presentation there. And Drew is a great ham radio operator there. He's going to go a lot of places.
Absolutely. He's already going a lot of places, and he's got Mars on his itinerary, so or the moon rather.
Yeah, he has. Well, hey, let's jump into CQ real quick, and let's just talk a little about CQ. I'm interested to know what's coming up, man. Give us a peep or a peek.
Sure thing.
Give us a peek into the next month's magazine.
Well, first of all, I'm pleased to announce that we have a new awards editor. Ted Malinowski, K1BV, retired at the beginning of this year as awards editor and custodian of the USA Counties Award. And we found a new Counties Award custodian a few months ago, Brian Bird, NX0X, and it took us a little longer to find someone who is interested in being the awards editor, but I'm pleased to say we finally have, and his first column will be in this month's issue. His name is Eddie DeYoung, AE7AA, and at the moment he's living in Montana, where he's spending the summer working as a park ranger at Glacier National Park. He has a fascinating history. He spent nearly 40 years in the South Pacific, in Australia and Antarctica. Has held like 24 call signs from 12 different countries. So he's a pretty amazing guy, and looking forward to working with him as awards editor starting in the September issue. Our main theme of this issue is the results of the WPX single sideband contest from earlier this year. And of course that takes up a good deal of real estate in the magazine, and participation was excellent once again. A little bit of band shifting because of the lack of sunspots, the propagation conditions, so you didn't have much happening on 10 and 15 meters, but 40 and 20 really were the busy bands. We've also got a great feature on America's Voice, the Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting in Bethany, Ohio, outside Dayton and Xenia. And that's a really cool article about a really cool place. I have never been there, but now I have to try to work it into my itinerary, some Dayton trip, because it sounds like a really cool place. And of course, there's a ham station there. We have an interesting article on using your radio's squelch as a station controller. Very, very interesting circuit there. That's by Klaus Spies, WB9YBM, who is a frequent contributor of interesting projects. This month we're starting something new as our 75th anniversary approaches next year. We're starting with something called CQ Classics, which are reprints of articles from early editions. And this article that we're starting with was from the very first edition of CQ back in January 1945, and it's called What You Can Do with Microwaves. And of course, in 1945, who knew from microwaves? The military had just barely developed radar, and it was really a very, very specialized part of the spectrum. And the author of this article, M.G. Bell, I don't know anything else about him, was really spot on, not only for the times, but for now. He talked about dish antennas, waveguide using plumbing, klystron tubes, which were the mainstay of microwave operating for decades. He even predicted working moon bounce via microwaves. And this was before anybody had worked moon bounce using anything. It was still a science fiction at the time. So it's a really fascinating article for its time in particular, and in general. And we need more activity on microwaves, and I think the only thing he would be surprised at right now about it is that it's still considered exotic. So, of course, it isn't for your phone. That all operates on the gigahertz bands. Got another cool article on building a junk box touch key. N4ERM used wall warts, the little things you plug in for everything in creation. Hollowed out one of those that was dead, and touch keys work as on a capacitive basis, so you don't have to have something moving around.
So he's
And-
is he using the actual metal blades of the plug for the?
Yes.
Oh, that's
absolutely.
cool. That's cool, man.
Yeah, yeah. So that's really, really cool. In our kit building column this month, K0NEB writes about curing AM broadcast loudmouths, nice high pass filter, and a new dummy load. So that's always interesting reading in Joe's column. Ham Notebook is about what may have been or may not have been the last Maker Faire. Wayne KH6WZ always goes to the Bay Area Maker Faire, which is the first one, and does a ham radio presentation there. And as of the time that he wrote this, it had been announced that Make Magazine was ceasing publication and that Maker Fairs were going to be ending. In the interval since between the time you wrote it and the time we published it, Dale Doherty, the publisher of Make and the head of the whole Maker movement, said he had recreated the what had been his business as a community, nonprofit community, and was trying to get people to support it through membership dues that I think it was $85 a year to provide seed funding to continue publishing the magazine and running Maker Fairs. So this is, Wayne writes about that in his column, and I touch on it quite a bit in my editorial as well on the whole Maker movement and ham radio's tie into it. In our microcontrollers column this month, we have the M's have it. Memory Commander, Morrison microcontrollers, and a Magpie. And the Magpie is very interesting. It's a Raspberry Pi device with a significant pedigree. It's designed by, now I'm blanking on his name, of course, David Nurse, who is the son of the former president of Heathkit back in its heyday. So that's a really interesting historical connection there. We have an introduction to DMR for those who are thinking about it and don't know if it's something they want to try. That's digital mobile radio in our learning curve column. N2IRZ in his digital connection column writes about outdoor equipment this month and how to protect outdoor nodes and things like that and antennas and keep them operating. Our VHF Plus column is all about VHF expeditions, and in our DX column we cover the care and feeding of QSL managers, always very important. Fall is the start of contest season, and our contest column brings us up to date on the September contests that get things rolling, the All Asia Phone and Worked All Europe DX phone contests, plus the September ARRL VHF contest, the Scandinavian Activity Contest, and the CQ Worldwide RIDI DX contest. And that's just a sampling of what we've got coming up in this issue. We've got a lot more, and it will be out in people's hands very soon, and we will looking forward to it. Working on October right now, and that's going to be our emergency communication special. Got some really good articles lined up there on ham radio with different organizations such as the Salvation Army and the American Legion, and how they are working together in public service and emergency communications. So,
well,
that's where we're at.
Yeah, I always look forward to getting my CQ and just fanning through there, and there's something in there that interests me every time I read it, you know, whether it's build a new project or I didn't know this was going on, and it's a cool magazine. I really enjoy getting it and reading it. I just wish it was about 5 or 6 times that thick, and it would last me longer. You know, it'd give me more reading. I got to wait till the next month. You know.
Well, we got to keep you waiting and keep you looking forward to the next one.
You mentioned, you know, the bands hadn't, in the beginning, you mentioned the bands hadn't been great, but you know what? You guys, if you just throw another contest on, the band to open up. It always opens up when you guys have a contest.
Well, CQ Worldwide and the CQWPX make their own propagation.
That's right, man. I mean,
And they really do.
I think you've got some kind of I don't know. I think you guys own the propagation, because when you kick off a contest, the bands open up. So I'd just like to ask CQ if you guys couldn't just, open the propagation up a little bit more often, man. At least a couple of days a week.
Well, we do have our CQDX marathon that runs all year long. So
Okay.
we just got to get a few thousand more people on the air and looking for contacts in the marathon, and that should help.
Well, all right.
By the way,
hey,
I believe we still have our Summer Madness promotion going on.
Okay.
Subscriptions, and we've got so if you can check out our website at www.cq-amateur-radio.com, you can get the details on that. Oh, and for our 75th anniversary, we are putting out a commemorative calendar. Each of the 15 months in the calendar is going to cover a 5-year period in CQ and amateur radio history. We've picked out a cover, an article, and one or more ads from each 5-year period that paint a picture of what was going on ham radio during that time period. It was a lot of fun to put it together, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. I hope so.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot for sharing all that tonight. And hey, you're welcome to stick around with us the whole show. It's going to be a very relaxed show tonight. We don't have a lot planned, but we'll have some fun. And I've got some things to show. We want to hear what Jason has to, and we might open the phone lines here in a few minutes. So you're welcome to stick around as long as you want to. Leave when you want to. You won't make us mad.
I'll stick around for a little bit.
Okay. Well, very good. Very good, dear. Well, let's do this. Jason, let's get you back in here, and we'll talk about some of those things that you'd mentioned earlier. Tell us all about it, man.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I was listening to Rich, and I will say that I subscribed to CQ Magazine after the last time he and I were on your show together, Tom.
Okay, cool. All right.
I'm getting it now too. So
there's a sale. See, our show brought you guys together and made a sale.
There you go. Yeah,
that's right.
In fact, I got a couple of ideas, Rich. I might send you an email if you don't mind. I got some questions for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So yesterday, they my hat looks crooked in my microphone, so that's why I'm messing with it. Yesterday, I posted a video on my channel. That was a collaboration between myself and six other YouTube guys, among which were Josh, Ham Radio Crash Course, which you know, Tom, K6UDA Bob, N0SSC Sterling, W5KV Johnny, K8 MRD Mike, and Jerry KG6 HQD, I think his name is. Anyway, 2 or 3 of the guys had smaller channels, and of course Josh and Bob and I's channels are about the same size, and Josh's channel is probably the biggest, was the biggest one on there. But we did a collaboration video where we just got together and talked about each other's channels, and I posted that yesterday evening, and it's got 24 hours later, it's got 1,300 hits, something like that. So a lot of good feedback, a lot of good comments. I've already got emails from a couple of the guys with the smaller channels saying that they got a lot of new subscribers on YouTube after that video was posted. So everyone really enjoyed doing that. It was my idea to do it. I emailed all these guys and said, this is what I want to do. You guys let me know if you're willing, and all but like 2 or 3 of them, there's more people on the email list than the people I just listed. Everybody but 2 or 3 was willing, and when we all got on the call together, everybody was like, oh, so when are we doing this again? And that kind of surprised me. I thought they'd be like, yeah, let's do this, but just, not really interested in that. But everyone was really happy about it, really interested, so we're already planning our next venture. And that, Tom, if you'd be interested in something like that, it's kind of a pre-recorded show, not a live stream, let me know.
Yeah.
You're certainly welcome to join us.
Well, when we first started talking, we talked about putting something together like that, cross-promote both shows. I'd love to do it. It's just a matter of finding time when you guys want to do it, and
right.
we can, hook up here on
I'll shoot
Skype
you.
and record it. Make it live however you want to, and
We're going to do recorded sessions and edited and posted later for right now. In fact, we've got our next date planned out, and we're probably going to get together and record 2 or 3 sessions. Since everyone's going to be together at one time, we're going to come up with 2 or 3 ideas for themes, and we're going to record 2 or 3 episodes together, and then I'll go in on the back end after that and edit them all out and make 2 or 3 separate episodes from those. But it'll be fun either way, because it's really kind of a sharing experience for everybody on YouTube. It's a promotion of amateur radio, which of course everybody's about, and it's just, my subscribers may or may not watch Bob's subscribers, and those guys may or may not watch Johnny, and not watch Mike, and not watch Sterling, and these kind of things. So and everybody focuses on something different. Rich said something about DMR earlier. I've got a lot of episodes on DMR, and a lot of guys on YouTube will call me the DMR guy.
yeah.
And Hosh has a lot of episodes on getting your license and Baofeng radios, and Bob has a lot of episodes on D-Star and some stuff on Fusion. One of the guys, Johnny, I think it was, had some soda expedition videos. Johnny and Jerry both. So it's different facets of amateur radio, not just an all-around topic, and it's good to kind of bring everyone's knowledge together, and share ideas and cross-post and that kind of stuff. So it was a fun collaboration. I really enjoyed it, and everybody else enjoyed it also from the feedback I'm getting, and we're looking forward to doing it again. So I'll shoot you. I've got an email going with those guys. I'll add you to the emails list, Tom.
Shoot me.
If you can make it, great, and if you can't, that's okay too. You're more than welcome to come either way.
Yeah, I'd love to do it. Like you're mentioning, all of us a little bit different in certain ways. I mean,
Yeah.
we're more of a live show, and we really never pushed our recorded side, even for people to subscribe. Our subscribers are fairly low, but it's just. But it's out there recorded, so why not? People will find it and get there. So yeah, let's get together and do it. We'd love to take part.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was definitely a fun time. So the other thing is, this just kind of happened to fall into the same day. About an hour ago today, maybe about an hour and a half ago now, I posted another new episode on my channel, where Gary Pierce, KN4AQ, who's the creator of Ham Radio Now, and David Goldenberg, whose call sign is, I always forget his call sign, W0H something. He took over Ham Radio Now after Gary kind of retired from doing ham radio videos. But the three of us got together on a Zoom session, and we're talking about the Tapper Digital Communications Conference, which I will be traveling to Detroit next month and recording all of the sessions again and putting them on my YouTube channel, which I did that for the first time last year. But previous to that, Gary had done them since about 2008 and put them on his channel on Ham Radio Now, so that people who couldn't record the conference could watch the sessions. They were all separate. They were like 45, 50-minute sessions each, and there's 16 to 20 of them per year. And I did, like I said, I did it for the first time last year, and it was really fun. Last year it was in Albuquerque. This year is in Detroit. They change locations every year. And I had a lot of fun doing that last year. It was really enjoyable. Got a lot of really good feedback from it. So I put together a Kickstarter to finance my trip, pay for my plane ticket and my hotel room and all that kind of stuff. And the Kickstarter's out there, and I put up a video today, like I said, about an hour and a half ago, that Gary and David are going to share on Ham Radio Now as well, to try to help promote the Kickstarter. It's just basically to cover expenses and whatnot, to travel to Detroit for 4 days, record everything, travel back home, and then spend like 4 or 5 months editing and posting everything, because it takes a long time to edit all that stuff out, because I've got 2 or 3 cameras going on every session. But that was really fun. The Kickstarter it's only got like 9 days left, and it's about 70% funded. And Kickstarter, I don't know if you don't know how Kickstarter works. If you don't get 100% funded in the time You have to set a start date and an end date. And if you don't get 100% funded by the end date, the whole thing cancels. You get nothing. So it's an all or nothing type crowdfunding event. So when I was about 30 days in, it was a 60-day total that it ran. So it's got like 9 days left in this 60-day total, and it's like I said, 70% funded. So I emailed the guys at the Tapper Digital Communications group 2 or 3 weeks ago, and one of the guys called me. He's like, "Man, if you can't make it up here, then let me know what you need me to do, and I can record some stuff." I'm like, no, hold on, time out. I was like, dude, I'm going anyway. I've already bought my plane ticket. I've already got my hotel room booked. I'm not gonna skip out just because the Kickstarter may not make. I'm still gonna do it. It was too fun of an event and too good of a response on my channel. I may have to reevaluate covering costs if the Kickstarter doesn't make, but it's got, like I said, it went from 49 to 70% over the last 2 or 3 days. So somebody got a hold of it. I don't know who it was, but it's all good. So yeah, I put that video out there, and the guys, Gary and David from Ham Radio Now, said that they'd help me try to get the word out about getting the Kickstarter out so that expenses could be covered, because it's expensive to travel out of town for 4 days, but also to take all the equipment that I need, and then the several months worth of editing on the back end. So, but it's like I said, it's going to happen either way, because it's really, really good information. Tapper's been around for a while. In fact, I think this is 2019. I think in 2021 they're going to be celebrating their 20-year anniversary. They're going to go back to Tucson and because they started in Tucson. They did it in Tucson for a few years, and they jumped around since then.
They've been around a lot longer than 20 years.
Maybe it's 30 years. It's an anniversary.
I was a member of Tapper back in the 1980s.
Okay, it's some kind of,
probably coming up on 40 years.
Well, it might be. I don't remember the number. It's some. Well, I'm not talking about Tapper's anniversary. I'm talking about the DCC's anniversary, Digital Communications anniversary. So I don't know if they've been doing the digital communications.
I went to one of them in the 80s too.
Okay.
Been around a long time.
I probably have the number wrong, but there's some kind of anniversary coming up in 2021, and they're going to go back to Tucson for their anniversary, because that's where they started. So I don't know if it's 30, 40, 50 years, however long it is. So I wasn't around back then. I got my first ticket in 1994, so I wasn't around in the 80s for ham radio. But I mean, they've had a long running of really good conventions and really good information sharing and really cutting edge technology in amateur radio, and I'm very very excited and very, very honored to be a part of it, and I hope to keep it going for a while. So anyway, go check out my channel for the video I posted about an hour and a half ago, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it's got the information about the Kickstarter in there, information about the DCC itself, and links to everything that you need to know about that and what's upcoming and whatnot.
All right. Well, very good. I just saw in the chat room someone had mentioned the audio had quit to the radio station. I was just checking that.
Oh.
I think we may have an issue here, but I'll look at it later. Well, hey, man, it sounds like you're really busy with a lot of things going here, man. Have you got time to do a few more things? You know, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm good for tonight.
Yeah.
Man, I'm on vacation right now because we're in Galveston. Although I did work today, so. But no, I'm good for the evening.
Well, hey, I need to look at some of your DMR stuff, because I've got this. I bought this DV Mega cast here, and we've got our own. Got our own DMR talk group for the show, and I think I made 1 or 2 contacts. We got to figure out how to get the word out and maybe start having a net or something on here. Is it pretty easy for people around that have DMR to get on, like our talk group, or do they have to program their radio with chirp or something, or? I mean, I don't. How's that work?
Chirp does not work on DMR radios as of now.
Okay.
So.
Well, I guess my question is, I know when I don't even use a hotspot because I've got that thing. But so if you wanted to get on our talk group, 61, I don't remember what it is. I'll have to look.
Well, the DV Cast is a hotspot on steroids.
Yeah. So how would somebody, if a person just had a hotspot in their house and a DMR radio, how easy would it be for them to get on our?
Very, very easy.
Oh, would it?
Okay. Yeah. Your talk group is on Brandmeister. Is that correct?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. So all of these hotspots have multiple ways to connect to Brandmeister. So all they would need to do is program your talk group number into their radio, the code plug of their radio, and point their hotspot to any Brandmeister server they wanted to.
Yeah, I guess that's, and our talk group is 31693. So that's what I was wondering. They would have to go in and program it somehow. Is that
yes?
Is that difficult? I guess different systems are a little different, or is it something you could do in maybe 10 seconds?
No,
I didn't think so.
2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah,
but not 10 seconds. No, DMR is not nearly as complicated as people make it out to be. People are scared of the whole code plug thing, but it is. They overthink it, and it's nothing derogatory about that statement at all. It's just I was intimidated by it the first time I tried it, and once I got in there and kind of dug around in the code plug and learned what it was doing, I'm like, oh, that's not really all that complicated. So it's not nearly as daunting as what people think it is. It's actually quite simple. I've got an episode or two on my channel about how to program a code plug for your radio to connect to a hotspot and get on there. And I'm about to release fixing to. That's a Texas term, y'all. I'm fixing to.
You're fixing to. we everything down here, over here in Tennessee, we're fixing to do everything too.
Fixing to, you're fixing to all the time. So I'm going to release a series of videos soon on my channel about how to build a pretty extensive code plug from scratch, where you have nothing until where it has freaking everything that you want. So I'm working on that right now. I've been thinking about it for about 2 years almost, but I've started working on it, and it'll be upcoming soon. But yeah, it's not just long story short, in a nutshell, it's not nearly as complicated as what people make it out to be. It is kind of intimidating at first if you've never done it before. I understand that. CW is intimidating if you've never done that before. Well, and Ham's been doing that for 100 years, so it's not it's not as complicated as what people make it out to be. So
like you mentioned, my DV Mega Cast is a hotspot on steroids. I don't even use a radio, and I can just use a stylus and touch the number there, and I can key in any number 31693, and that's where I am. So the difference between
the DV Cast that you have, which is made by Combatronics in the Netherlands, Ruud. His name is pronounced Ruud, R-U-U-D, Ruud.
Yeah.
Great guy out there. I met him at Hamcation last year. The difference between the DV Cast and most other systems is there's no RF in the DV Cast. It's just an internet connection. Is what it is. So all of these other connections that use a radio to a DV Mega or to a DX Mini or to the Zoom spot or these kind of hotspots, there's an RF transmitting between your radio and the hotspot. And the hotspot itself is a transceiver that actually does transmit RF. It's like 500 or 600 milliwatts. It's very small power. But your DV Cast doesn't do that. So it's a little bit easier to program on the screen. But it's all the same. It all does the same stuff. On the back end, it always does the same stuff. So anybody with a hotspot or a repeater with access to Brandmeister can program in your talk group, Tom, and get to you with no problem.
Okay. Well, I just didn't want to have a talk group number. Of course, I mean nobody hardly knows it. So if I said we're going to have a net tonight, probably the majority of people out there wouldn't be able to get on because they're not programmed.
Probably true. Yeah. So what you need to do is, I don't know. Do you have an email list or a means of communication like that?
You mean like for the show? We used to do email, but it got so big and we were paying monthly for it. We finally quit the email list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's okay.
Send me your email list. I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
Those are really cool. No, put it out on your Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and just say, hey, this is our W5KUB talk group. Everyone go program this. So
Yeah. Okay.
I'll add it to my repertoire of many talk groups. In fact, I can probably get Brandmeister send it to my C bridge so that I can route it to different repeaters that I have access to. But
to show you how dumb I am, I mean, I don't understand the difference between the Brandmaster DMR and DMR. Or is there a difference?
Well, DMR is a mode. Okay,
yeah.
and that confuses a lot of people. So, DMR, I think what you mean is DMR Mark.
I have no idea.
Okay, so DMR Mark, MARC, is the Motorola Amateur Radio Club. They were the first ones to bring DMR to amateur radio in the United States. They ran and still do run a C bridge. But there are multiple dozens, if not hundreds, of C bridges in the United States that are not tied to DMR Mark or owned by DMR Mark or administered by DMR Mark at all. So Brandmeister is its own network, and every C bridge is its own network. And now there's a new network called TGIF, and overseas there's a network called DMR Plus, and there's all these networks that on DMR that can be brought up. I mean, all these networks were created to route talk groups to hotspots and repeaters by themselves, and some of them connect together and some of them don't. So it's more like it's a little bit more confusing than, say, the Wires X network that's owned and controlled by Yaesu, or the D-Star network that is. There's only one D-Star network, and I think it's controlled by ICOM, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not as well versed in D-Star as I am in the other modes. But the Wires X network is owned and controlled by Yaesu, and you can't connect to Wires X without certain setup by Yaesu on the back end. So with DMR, you have different networks. And you can connect your hotspot to multiple networks. You can connect your repeater to multiple networks. And sometimes they tie it together and sometimes they don't. And it does create some confusion for people, but it also allows for a greater level of customization than what you can have in the other modes. So basically the difference between DMR Mark and Brandmeister is that they're just two different networks.
So here's a question in the chat room. Do they program the 31693 in as a user or a private talk group? I mean, it's just a talk group.
Neither. A private talk group and a user is the same thing.
Yeah.
31693 is okay. Here's the easiest way to tell. 31693 is 6 digits.
Yep.
A 6-digit number.
No.
Is a
31693 is 5 digits.
31693.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You're sure that's your talk group number?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Let me rephrase then. Users have 7 digits. So, like my talk group, my user ID. One of my user IDs is 3148141.
Right.
7 digits. Anything less than 7 digits is going to be a talk group. So, like the Texas statewide talk group is 3148.
Yeah.
And we have a North Texas talk group on Brandmeister that's like 3148, I think 01. So a 7-digit ID is a user. Anything less than 7 digits is either going to be a talk group or a repeater. All your repeater IDs are 6 digits.
Yep. Okay.
And then most of your talk groups are either 4 or 5 digits, or there's a couple of talk groups out there that are like 8 digits. But if it's a 7-digit ID, then it's going to be a user. So
Okay. Well, as far as I know, it's just a public talk group. Anybody can go to it that wants to, and I don't have to. I mean, I know you can use your private number. I mean,
yes,
you could actually call an ed on your own private user ID, I guess.
Yes, you can make a private call. You and I could make a private call between my ID and your ID.
Right. And other people could join it, right?
Not if it's a private call.
Oh, okay.
You can you can do a private call between two people, two 7-digit IDs, or you could create well, it's not really private. You could create a talk group from a repeater ID, or like your talk group. You said 31693.
Yep.
That's a customized talk group.
Right.
That you had created for your show that you
Yes.
send out to people, and then anyone can connect to.
Yep. The gods at Brandmaster or somewhere, they gave us that number for the show.
Right.
Whoever does it. Okay. Well, look, this is really much higher than my pay scale allows to understand. So I'm not going to shout out. That's the reason I got the DV Mega, so I don't have to go through all this mess.
Right.
Oh man.
Right.
All right. Well, look. Hey, let's take a quick break here, and then let's talk about a few other things. And let's see. Rich is still with us. He hadn't fell
he's still
asleep
right
yet.
there.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be dropping out in a couple minutes, though. So
Okay. All right, Rich.
I tell you what, I'm listening to this conversation, and this to me is one of the fantastic things about ham radio and how it evolves over time. This is an aspect of the hobby that I have not gotten into yet, and basically you guys have been talking for 15 minutes now, and I have not understood a single thing you've said. And I think that's wonderful, because it means there's always something new to learn.
Oh,
yeah. It is. And hey, I operated a little D-Star years ago, but it was so complicated years ago that I just kind of quit. In this new DV Mega Cast, it will do D-Star, DMR, and Fusion, but I'm trying to keep it simple right now. I got 2 of them turned off and just got DMR on. All right. Well, hey, Rich, thanks so much tonight.
One quick thing, Jason. D-Star is a protocol. D-Star protocol was developed by the Japan Amateur Radio League, JARL. So ICOM does not own or control it. They're just the primary manufacturer who has been making use of it, but it's an open protocol.
Yes, you are correct about that. The same is true for Fusion. Fusion was also created by JARL, but I thought, now I could be wrong about this part. I thought ICOM controlled the network on the back end, the D-Star network, but that might be controlled by JARL actually.
I don't know about that.
So yeah. I mean, they're both. Everything's an open standard. DMR started out as an open standard. D-Star did not, but it is an open standard now. Fusion, I think, started out as an open standard, but since it was so proprietary by Yaesu, I don't think anyone really kind of bought into it. But now you have Kenwood making D-Star radios.
Right.
Yep.
So, you're correct. Yes, you're correct. I might have said that wrong earlier, but yes, it was. D-Star and Fusion both were started by the Japan Amateur Radio League, so that is correct.
All right, we're going to move on. Thanks so much.
And I'm going to say good night, everybody. So,
all right.
Thanks, Rich. I'm going to shoot you an email, bro, if you don't mind.
Great.
All
Look
right.
forward to it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we'll be back in just a second here. Heard it, worked it, logged it. It's time to get the transceiver that's best suited for your lifestyle. ICOM offers a variety of high-performance and innovative products. The IC7610 is the SDR every ham wants. This high-performance SDR has the ability to pick out the faintest of signals, even in the presence of stronger adjacent signals. It's a direct sampling software-defined radio that will change the world's definition of an SDR transceiver. It has RF direct sampling, an independent dual receiver, and dual digit select. The IC7300 is changing the way entry-level HF is designed. This high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design will far exceed your expectations. It has RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, a large color touchscreen, real-time spectrum scope, and an SD memory card slot. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
LDG Electronics provides state-of-the-art antenna tuners for every amateur need. From QRP to QRO, fixed stations, portable and remote, an LDG tuner will match your radio to your antenna using our lightning-fast, proprietary tuning algorithms. LDG is a family-owned and operated company dedicated to bringing innovative, quality products to the amateur market. All LDG products carry a full 2-year warranty that is fully transferable. Support is only a phone call or email away. We're always here to help you. Visit us on the web at ldgelectronics.com.
All right, and we are back. Hey guys, I want to talk to you just about a couple things here I've been working on lately. Man, first of all, this week I've been working on a fan dipole. I like resonant antennas, and especially if I'm running high power. It's much easier to have a resonant antenna where you don't have to have a high power tuner. I do have one high power tuner on a extended double ZEP out there, which will tune all the different bands, but all my other antennas are resonant. I've got inverted V's for 80, 40, and 20, and I've got a 3/8 wavelength vertical, and let's see, I've got a delta loop out there for 40 and up, and all those are resonant. But I didn't have a resonant antenna for like 17 meters, 15 meters, 10 meters, and so forth. So I started working on one to get up at least before winter time. So I started looking at the fan dipole again, and everybody knows what a fan dipole is. Let me see, I got some pictures here. Your typical fan, well, let's see, let me go something like this. So that's a typical fan dipole right there. You can see different legs for different bands. They're all fit at the central point. That's cool. In theory, it works good. And that's what my 80-40-20 is right now. It's a fan dipole. There's another picture one right there. That looks like 5 bands. And you can see the different band elements look very close to each other. And here's the problem I have found is that when you go more than 3 elements, like 80-40-20, if you try to add another one, they interact so badly that it makes the tuning almost impossible on the others when they're that close. Now, if you take a fan dipole and you take the various different legs and you run them, quite a distance apart, run them different directions, run them different trees, then it's pretty easy to tune those. But I can tell you, if you try that right there, you're going to have a headache. It would take a lot of work. It's possible you can get fairly good results with that, but that's kind of the way I've got the 80-40-20 right now. I've got enough separation on the wires out there that they will actually tune to resonance pretty easy. There's another picture. Look at that. Look at there. I've even tried that before, where you hang each of the other elements, like the 40, 20, 15. You just hang it underneath the top wire. Look how close those are. I tell you, again, in theory, I think you can tune that, but in real life, that will be a real headache. Spacing them out, that's much better. As I said, a 2-band or 3-band is pretty easy to get working. So there was a study done by Standford, the University of Standford here a while back, about a fan dipole, and they found that if you had at least 5.5 inches separation between legs, that it made the tuning much easier. So I wanted to try that. This particular one here, I pulled off the internet. It didn't look like they're 5.5 inches consistently. It looks like they get closer and closer as they get to the higher bands.
That's kind of like what a hex beam looks like too, Tom.
Yeah, except the hex beam is it's folded back. Yeah, I mean, same concept. Same concept there. Yeah, except these are straight. Yeah. I was thinking
more directional, obviously, but still.
Same thing. So, and in a hex beam, they have very similar feed. They take a here's what I was experimenting here with, and like you say, like a hex beam has something like a mast in a hex beam like this, and the different elements will come back and connect to that, and each of that side there, the left side and the right side, they're tied together. I put this together just to experiment with, and basically inside is just some of the plumbing hanger stuff right there that you can put inside that pipe, and all the eye bolts on one side are connected together, and all the eye bolts on the other side are connected together. So, and I'm working on it in my shop, so I don't get it very high off the ground. Let me see. I've got a little winch in the shop, a little electric winch, so I can just hook that antenna on there and just, pull it right up to the top by pushing a button, and then when I want to adjust it, I can let it down a little bit. So I found that by spacing these elements 5.5 inches, it tunes really easy, and you don't have that interaction. Now, what Standford said was at the feed point they need to be 5.5 inches apart, and they said they needed to be 38 inches apart at the distant end. Now, I didn't go 38 inches at the distant end, but I did do the 5.5 inches at the feed point. So that's a 4-band. The third one down, I just got a couple pieces of wire temporarily connected to it for 6 meters. So this one actually has got a 20. I'm sorry. This one is actually 15 meters, 17 meters, then 6 meters, and then the bottom one there is 10 meters. And I'm seeing, first of all, I tried it with a 1-to-1 balun. Let's see. There's a 1-to-1 balun at the bottom, and I didn't make that. That's a commercial balun.
So you did 4 bends in a row, but you skipped 12 meters.
I'm sorry. What was that?
You did 6. You said it was 6, 10, 15, and 17.
17, 15, 10, and 6. 4 bands.
Okay, so you did 4 bands in a row, but you skipped 12 meters in the middle.
Yeah, I did. I kind of contemplated whether to put 12 on it or not. I've really never operated 12. And maybe I might take that 6 meter one off, that third one down, and put 12 meters on there.
Well, that'd be a good. 12 and 17 aren't used for like contesting and whatnot. So that'd be a good antenna to use both for contesting and outside of contesting. So that's a good combination.
Well, I figure too though, if 12 is open, you're either 17 is going to be probably doing pretty good, or 10's going to be doing pretty good. So I kind of didn't go with that.
Right.
But I put a balun at the bottom there, 1-to-1, feeding each side, and it wasn't very broad. I didn't get real good results with it. So I took the balun out, and you can see there I just got a couple alligator clips on a piece of coax clipped to it. And I was amazed at how well the thing matched and how easy it was. The SWR gets down to something like 1.1, maybe 1.2, and the impedance was up anywhere from 47 to 49 ohms, and the reactance in several of the antennas, the reactance was 0. So it actually turns out pretty good without the balun here. I think what I'll do is, of course, I'll be feeding that with something like RG8. I've got a number of very large clip-on ferrites. I'll probably just put a bunch of, maybe a half a dozen or a dozen ferrites on the RG8 there, and use that as common mode.
So what
was that?
Tom, there's a question in the chat about how did you put the nuts on the back side of the eyelets inside that PVC?
Well, I studied it for about 2 days. Actually, I tried for about 2 days, man. Let me tell you. See, some of the people, in fact, if this one right here, that's I think it's either a 4 or a 6 inch piece of pipe, so you can get your hand down in there.
Yeah.
Mine, that's only 1.5 inches. That's 1.5 inches. So yeah, no hand in there. So I've got some really long needle nose pliers that will go in about 8 inches. If it was holding a nut, it would go in about 8 inches, and that's just about from each end. That's just about to that second eye bolt, from each end. So
yeah,
it was close enough I could put the needle nose in there now, and stick the eye bolt through there and hold the pliers in there and get it started. And of course you've got that plumber's strap inside too.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
But it finally, after I figured it out and kind of got me a system together, it worked. At first I mixed up some epoxy, and I epoxied the nuts on the back of the plumber tape, and I slid it up in there. You know, I was just going to poke it through there and, you know, tighten it up. Maybe stick a long wrench up there to hold it, but that didn't work too well. The best thing was just use the long nose pliers, and that worked. I contemplated about getting me a bigger pipe, but that's what I had. So that's what I wanted to try. So anyway, that's what I'm working on as far as the fan dipole, and of course it'll be painted and everything. And once I pull it up in the trees, you don't see it out there. Everything matches pretty well.
Yeah.
There's another shot of it there. Let's see. There's a shot right there. So you know, I just wanted to let everybody know, if you did try a fan dipole, you know, don't get too discouraged, but it will be tough if you try. You know, if you try to make it an all band, 80, 40, 20, 15, 10, it's going to be pretty difficult. It won't be so difficult if you will run the wires out in different directions, as long as you don't hang them under each other. But boy, once they're hanging under each other, they do affect anything. So just do a search on Google for fan dipole, and just about everywhere in there you can read the Standford study that they did that it shows the 5-inch separation there at the feed point. And it does make a big difference. It really did. Why not offset the eye bolts and drill through? Why not offset the eye bolts? I could.
So like put one above the other.
Yeah, and what? And I
right
guess and go all the way through to the other side. Maybe is that what you're saying?
That, but every dipole I've ever seen has each side of the dipole at the same height, the same.
Yeah, I don't think it would make much difference if it was off an inch or two,
Probably
one way or the
not.
other.
If it's like an inch or something.
You would have an issue if I don't know. You know, the interesting thing about that would be, and here it is. Let's say we put the eye bolts all the way through and put the nut on the outside. You know, and we ran that plumber's strap down each side.
Mm-hmm.
What that would do, that would alter. Let's see. I think. Well, that would get in the way of the next one down. You'd probably short out. I was going to say it might alternate your center conductor of your coax. It may alternate it from one side to the other on each leg, but it won't. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that, and I'll talk more about it.
It looks really good, Tom.
You know, I will talk a little more about it as it comes along. And like I said, I'll put some ferrites on there for the choke. This is a 4-inch pipe, and you can use a common mode choke by running I think 18 to 21 feet of RG8 around it. That's what he's done there. So that's a pretty big pipe here. So yeah, that's kind of what one of the things I've been working on the last few weeks. Another thing that I just recently got into today was, you know, you guys know I recently bought me a Alpha 86 amp, and this is a tremendous amp, man. Full legal power. Lay the brick on the key. Come back next month. And if you look at that transformer up here in the top right corner there, that transformer weighs about 60 pounds. But so what happened was my blower started making noise, and the blower finally went out. And of course, you can't run it without air through those tubes, through those chimneys. So if you look left of center, that black thing at the top of the picture is actually the squirrel cage fan, and they don't really make that fan anymore, so I'd have to try to find something that might fit. So what I've done is basically have I got with MFJ. You know, they build the Ameritron amps with the same tubes, and they've got some squirrel cage blowers, and I'm having one sent to me. And what I'm going to do is on the back side of the amplifier there, where the two tubes are, on the very back side, I'm going to cut me a little 2-inch square hole in the back, and I'm going to mount the blower external. The blower, well, actually, it has a flange with holes in it where it'll just butt right up against the back there, and it'll blow inside that tube compartment underneath. So it'll be an external fan probably, but it might even blow, the fan might even be better than when it came in it, because it wasn't too much. But getting that fan out was an issue. So you can see the fan right above the two tubes. The fan is down in there. There's circuit boards, there's brackets, there's relays, there's vacuum relays, there's RF chokes, everything in the way, man. They also had that thing glued in. They used some type of epoxy and glued it to the base. So I had to pop that loose. So in an effort to get that thing out, well, there's one of the boards I had to bring out of that thing. Let's see. It's hard. Oh, there's a picture with the power transformer removed. I even had to remove the power transformer so I could move that circuit board to get to a screw that held a relay that's in the way of lifting the blower out. So there it is with the blower out and with the transformer out of it. There's what the blower looks like right there. So it was getting where it wouldn't even start. So that's my project right now. We had the net tonight. I went over to my, on this amplifier I've got my 7610 and the 7610 and the Alpha 86. And that's what we normally use for the net, but since it was kind of, out of service, tonight we called a net on a 7300. I hadn't turned that on in a while, but it was fun working a 7300. And I've got it going into an Ameritron AL80B. And that 80B
is your net always on Tuesdays, Tom?
Yeah, it's on Tuesday at 5:30.
5:30 Central?
Yeah, 5:30 Central. But we do get on a lot of afternoons about 5:30. We get on a lot of afternoons on 7180.
71. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I remember I made contact with you that one time. I don't remember where I was. I was probably on 40 though.
Yeah, I think so.
So
anyway, so tonight we're a little less power. I think the AL80B runs. I've seen about 800 watts on the meter. Yeah, the Alpha 86 will easily do double that. So, but we were getting good reports. We had about 30 check-ins tonight, and we had a good time tonight on the net. I'm gonna bring the phone line up. Let's just see if anybody wants to join us on the phone line. It's not too late. So let me put the phone number. Let me put the phone number up there, and see if anybody wants to call us. That might work right there. Let's see if I can move it. I'll move it to the top. Let's try that right here. Let's see what happens here. All right, so I think we have the phone line up. Let's see. Yeah, we got it up. Phone line's up. Hey, if anybody wants to call in, we really tonight Riley was going to be with us, but he couldn't make it again. So we're going to try to reschedule Riley to talk about the volunteer monitoring program real soon. I think next week Emmett's going to be with us. Emmett HohenC W0QH, the chief engineer of Radio Waves. We can talk antennas then. Emmett's
a good dude.
Yeah.
I should be available next week.
Okay.
Tom, if you have an open spot, if you're full, that's fine too.
You're always welcome on here. You're part of the show, so we'll look for you next week. Okay, hey guys, somebody call in 712-775-7270, and you have to put that code in 407051 #. We've got local numbers in 65 countries, so. If you're in Australia tonight, or actually it's tomorrow there, if you're in Australia tomorrow, give us a call. You got a local number there. Let's just see if we can catch any fish here. I know there's a few people that I know will call in. I'm sending signals to them right now. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll give it a couple more minutes. Come on, guys, somebody call us. The official part of the show's over with. This is open mic night, man. This is open mic. Oh, we got a call. And who's on the phone?
Bill Horn, W4EWH.
Let me turn you up. Who was that? W what?
Bill Horn, W4EWH, Echo
Oh.
Whiskey Hotel.
Hey, W4EWH. How you doing, man? Been a while since we talked.
Well, yeah, it has been. I am very interested in the DMR subject and wondered if I could draw on the collective group mind and get some information.
Hello, this is Bob. N3
Hi, Bob.
Okay, so Jason, he's asking about DMR. I guess he's looking for information about DMR. Where's the best place for him to find it? Your YouTube channel?
Yeah, well, that's a good spot. Yeah, it kind of depends on what he's looking for, but yeah. What state are you
Well,
in?
Dave, I expected you to explain it all in a couple of sentences right now.
Yeah, well, he tried that with me and it didn't work.
Well, I can do that. A couple sentences would be, DMR is the fastest growing and best digital voice mode in amateur radio today, so you should get involved in it. Done.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
No, what did you have any quick questions? I'd be happy to answer them for you.
No, not really. The whole thing seems unbelievably complicated, and my training was all in analog, so I'm showing my age. And yeah, some references would be well appreciated.
Okay. Check out a website, VA3XPR, Victor Alpha 3 X-Ray Papa Romeo. He's a Canadian gentleman that has a really good resource for DMR. Also check out our website down here in Texas at dmrtexas.net. Got some good resources on it. And yeah, I've got quite a few videos on my YouTube channel for specifically for DMR, how it works. I have a DMR 101 forum. I've given it Texas HamCom several years in a row. I gave it Orlando Hamcation year before last.
Okay.
So
What is your YouTube channel called?
Ham Radio 2.0.
Who?
Ham Radio 2.0.
Okay. All right, I'm going to turn Jason.
On VA3XPR, what's the domain there again?
That's it. VA3XPR.com, I think it is. It might be .net, but I think it's .com.
Okay. I just put a question mark after .net there. Well, I will go and check them all out. Thank you for the info. Do appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, thanks for calling. I think we got another caller on. Who's on the phone?
Good night.
This is
Ooh.
Douglas. UIA.
We're not. I don't think we have a very good connection with you. Let me try again. This is like 40-meter net this afternoon. Give me your call again.
Kilo Golf 5 Quebec India Alpha.
Oh, okay. KG5 QIE. We're hearing you better. The audio is a little distorted on your call. You know how this voice over IP stuff, sometimes it doesn't work great for everybody. The last caller was a little bit clearer than you. Maybe it will clear up. So what's going on tonight?
Not much.
And where are you located?
Damascus, Arkansas.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Damascus. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know who this is now. Yeah, I get so busy here, it's hard sometimes to remember everything. But
Call sign's familiar.
yeah. You got any questions or comments about anything we talked about tonight?
None. Just curious about the fan dipole.
Okay, well, there's a lot of information. Just look it up on the internet. Just type in fan dipole, and there's all kinds of ones that have been built. There's a lot of plans out there. They're very easy to build. And again, If you try to hang each of those wires under each other, just a few inches separation or 6 inches separation at the ends, it's going to be very tough. But the thing about the fan dipole is you can stretch the 80 out, say north and south, and in the 40 you can kind of stretch it out to a tree that's like northeast and southwest. Just as long as you can, get some separation between them, then you usually don't have any trouble. It's when you try to hang the wires under each wire, they interact with each other. All right. Do we? Let me see. Let me see if we got anybody else on here. Nope. We. Oh yeah, we got several people on here. So, who else is on the call?
N3OAW Bob.
Okay.
KG5 JPU Anthony.
Hey Anthony. Okay. For some reason, I'm having trouble hearing you guys' levels tonight. But okay, I got Anthony in there. KG5 JPU, I think, if I got that right. And who was Bob? What was your call, Bob?
N3OAW, November 3, Oscar Alpha Whiskey.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you. Bob, we've talked on DMR.
Yes, we have. I have it on right now. I have your channel on.
Yeah, I don't have it turned on. Of course, I can't work it during the show, so, Hey, maybe one night we'll just set it here on the table, and after the show, we'll just turn it on and see how it works,
Yeah, that's cool. I heard one other guy in there tonight. It was a KC8 call. I can't remember it right now, but there's a couple people out there listening.
Well, you guys use it. Let's try to build up some users on there and make it real active, and maybe we even start calling a net on there on Tuesdays or whatever, in addition to 40 meters.
Yeah, and Jason, if you're listening, I appreciate everything you do there. We watch your podcasts pretty regularly there, and you're full of information on DMR. And I'm running through a hotspot actually right now, so but it shows up on my dashboard of the hotspot, the talk group. So just wanted to mention that.
Good. Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I tried to crank the volume up. Our producer here keeps coming and telling me that some of you guys are low, so I'm trying to get the audio up. Well, Bob, hey, Bob, help us publicize it and get some people on there, and let's start making that real active.
Okay, well, I'll see what I can do.
Okay, and hey, let me pick Anthony up here. Anthony's down in Texas, down here. KG5 JPU's in here. He usually checks in the 40-meter net every Tuesday. How you doing down there, Anthony?
I'm not doing too bad. I'm sitting on my back porch, listening to planes flying over the house from the base. Jason, how are you doing? I missed you at Hamcom. I spoke with your partner that was visiting from New York State that was behind the booth. I guess you were out doing your live streaming.
Yeah, that's Bob.
That I did watch, which I felt there were very good live streaming that you did, even though I understand you had issues with the Wi-Fi, but it is what it is.
Yes.
And I'm glad you're having time, you're enjoying time on the coast with the family. That's a win-win for you. You need that.
Yeah. Good to hear from you. I'm glad to. Sorry I didn't catch you at Hamcon. Yeah, that was Bob, W2CYK, that was sharing a booth with me at Hamcom. He's the creator of RFinder.
Yes.
He and I have become pretty good friends over the course of the last 2 or 3 years, just from him being on my show and us hanging out at various Hamfests together. He and I kind of aligned together with our thought process on amateur radio. So it's fun to see him. He actually comes to Hamcom because I invited him like 3 years ago. And he's like,
matter of
I'll
fact,
come to that. He came down there and he's like, man, this is a great show. Why have I not been to this before? I'm like, good.
Right.
I didn't want to invite
Well,
you
that's
to
all.
the show.
I was trying to invite Tom
good.
to go maybe next year. That way you and Emmett and everybody else can hang out together.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, Emmett's always there too.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, it's
And now that his son is in Texas, it would be a perfect excuse to get to Texas.
Well, yeah, it probably would be. Yeah, why not? So
Very
hey, Anthony, what kind of planes are flying over? Where are you exactly?
That was well, I live in Benbrook, and it's about I'm about 10 minutes away from the base, and I hear a C-130 flying overhead.
Okay, so it's an air base.
I used to work. Yes, it's the Joint Air Reserve Base.
Okay.
It used to be Carswell Air Force Base back in the day.
Okay, I got you. You know, I'm an Air Force guy myself, but
Right.
yeah. What do you hear in C-130s? You said?
Yeah, C-130s I can hear flying overhead. I used to work at Lockheed before I went blind.
Yeah.
And I used to work on 16s and 35s and so forth. And I worked out in the flight line. I also worked out in the factory when I first started working for them.
Well,
if I get my sight back, maybe I'd be able to. Maybe I might be able to start working again. But who knows?
Well, you know the.
What do you hear? C-130s, you said?
I got some feedback now. Hey, I love the C-130. That was the airplane when I was in. I used to fly a lot on the 130s. We'd go places, and that was a cool plane, man. You know, the tailgate was the best place to sleep, man. You know, that tailgate kind of opens like this, and it's got this big crack across there where you can kind of see the ground through there, and that was the coolest place to lay down on that tailgate while they were flying. It was cool back there, and it was quiet back there. You just hope they didn't open the tailgate while you were sleeping back there.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, speaking about Handcom, Jason, your buddy that you invited, he had taken out my SIM card from my Samsung Note 6, Samsung Galaxy Note 6, because I use Sprint as a provider. And he's been dying to get his hands on a SIM card from Sprint to see if it would work on his RF finder, the new radio that he had there on the table. Right. And he couldn't get it to work because he didn't have the right adapter. And I was trying to get back with him the next day to see, because he didn't know whether he was going to be able to get another adapter to try it. And he said, "You're more than willing to try it. That way, if it worked, you might have a new customer. And, you know, you couldn't hurt by trying."
Yeah.
And I never got an opportunity to get back to him.
He was really disappointed because that new dual band device that should work on Verizon as well as AT&T and T-Mobile, which his older devices worked on, that was supposed to be released in May, and he was supposed to have them before date and at Hamcom also, and they're still not out. He has a prototype. He has a latest model prototype in his hand right now that he got in his hands about 2 weeks ago. So we're kind of waiting with bated breath for the actual production version to be sent to the factory, which, you know, fingers crossed, should be any day right now. And I told him, I said, okay, you keep the first one, I get the second one, because I want to do a video on it and put it up on my show. But yeah, he's still working on that, and yeah, it should be working on Verizon as well as AT&T and T-Mobile once the final version's out.
Right. So, you know, the other thing, I'm hoping to look forward to seeing you again at Cowtown next January, you know, the third weekend of the month, for next year in Forest Hills at the Civic Center. Hopefully that should be a win-win, because I know you enjoy going there and you meet a lot of people and you have a lot of followers that come over there. Let me ask you this. I was going to write you an email this week, and being I'm able to talk to you, I guess it'll take me 30 seconds just to ask you, is the extra episode still in work? Is that almost done, or that's going to be a while yet from the First Amateur Radio Club?
Right. It is still in work. It is, you know, there's a lot more information that goes into the extra portion of the test than there does in the other two. So yes, it's still in work. The gentleman who did the technician class and the general class that are on my channel right now, he is working on an extra class that he actually started last winter sometime, like last December, I think it was. And he's a member of the Hearst Amateur Radio Club that I attend monthly meetings at. And I follow up with him every month. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm still working on it. It's just a lot of information to get through." We actually have the the technician and the general class that I have on my channel have both expired now. So the Hearst Club is giving a new technician class in September and a new general class in October. and I will be recording both of those and putting them on my channel upcoming. And hopefully, fingers crossed, by maybe the end of the year, maybe January, the gentleman who is in charge of all that will have the extra class done. So yes, it's still in works. It's taken a long time. He's only started working on it recently. You know, I looked for an extra class around the Dallas-Fort Worth area that someone would let me record. I found one, and they didn't want me to record it. And then I've not been able to find another one since then. So those classes are few and far between, but I know that'll be really popular when I finally get that recorded and posted. So yes, that's definitely on the books to happen soon.
Hey, let me.
Well, I want to say thank you for all you
I
do.
got a question for Jason.
I was going to say, let's see who else is on the phone there. Go ahead, question.
All righty. KC6ARY here, Jason and Tom. Thank you very much for the show tonight. And, you know, a lot of YouTubers, Jason, are getting these 878 UV Plus. And one of the features of the Plus that's very distinguishing is the Bluetooth. And myself and a few buddies are having some trouble with it down here. And aside from intermittent disconnects on audio and with the PTT that don't seem to be that solvable, the main thing that's really embarrassing is carrier no audio when using the Bluetooth. And I'm just wondering, how much have you used it on Bluetooth? And have you ever experienced carrier no audio when you've used it, or have you not used it that much?
I really haven't used it that much on Bluetooth specifically. I did the video on it, and I used it in that video, and it worked fine. I really haven't used it since then. I use the radio. In fact, I have it. It's right sitting on my desk right there right now. But I haven't really used the Bluetooth function radio on it much at all.
Yeah. Well, my theory is that this is kind of flying under the radar, because even people that buy it for the Bluetooth feature don't have a super frequent use case for it. And we have a really active repeater system where I'm from, and it's really embarrassing to make a response to somebody on a call and get carrier no audio. So I'm just kind of hoping some of the many YouTube folks that got these radios will try them out a little bit more on Bluetooth and let us know if this is. I mean, it isn't just me; it's several other people here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Excuse me. The only thing I can say about that radio is it's the first radio to ever come out of China with both APRS and Bluetooth. Bluetooth built into it, I should say. There's a couple other radios that have come out of China with Bluetooth modules that come with the radio that you plug into the side, but this one actually has built-in Bluetooth. So it's not 100%. It is a little buggy, but Anytone is very good about making firmware updates that fix all the bugs. So while the Bluetooth part does work, it definitely needs to be improved upon. And I feel pretty confident that they will have that rectified in the coming future. So, yeah, just report your hopefully you got your radio from like Bridgecom or a U.S. dealer, and you can report those.
Yeah, I got it from a U.S. dealer, and my dealer tells me that we're expecting both a firmware and a Bluetooth update.
Yes, I actually have that.
So,
I actually have that beta version of the Bluetooth firmware update already. It's not out for public release yet, but from what I've seen, it fixes a couple of the issues you're describing.
Well, fantastic. I'll be looking forward to seeing that when it gets released. And other than that, it's a super fantastic radio. I mean, it has so many features, and the audio on it. First of all, the battery and the audio on it are beyond what is even in some real mainstream radios. I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
Good.
I took a trip to an island, hung out with everybody all day, used the radio the whole time, and I still had 2 bars going back on the boat in the evening, and it's really, really good battery life. The audio is really loud,
Yes.
The audio going into it's really solid. So as far as the fundamentals of the radio it's fantastic, and of course it does all the DMR stuff. Quick question on Tom's talk group. Couldn't somebody manual dial his talk group on a repeater that has that has a non-static slot?
Yes. If you have a Brandmeister repeater with one of the time slots that's able to dynamically pull up any Brandmeister talk group, then yes, absolutely.
So it wouldn't necessarily have to be programmed in. You just need that dynamic talk group slot.
You'd need the talk group programmed into your code plug. Correct.
But I think on the 878 we can manual dial a talk group. We just need to be talking to a repeater that's got an open slot.
Right. That is correct.
Okay. Very cool. Well, thanks for talking, you guys, and again, thanks for the show. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Is there somebody else on the phone that we haven't talked to yet? Looks like we still have 3 people. I guess, Anthony, you're still there, right?
I'm still here.
All right, very good.
I do have another question for Jason when he gets an opportunity.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jason, do you plan on doing any reviews on the new Yaesu FT3D radio, or is it a DR radio? I'm not sure if I heard it's a D or a DR. I'm not sure what the actual model is.
Yeah, it's a FT3D is what's on the box. I've heard some people call it the DR. Yes, I recorded a first look on that. It'll post probably next week, and then I'm going to do a more deep dive into it later on. So yeah.
Okay. I just figured I'd ask. I'll be looking for it. And I know I think I got an email from a notification from what you had posted earlier this evening, and I didn't get a chance to watch it. But I will.
Yeah, sure. Yes, no problem. Yeah, I appreciate the interest. There's been a couple of the guys out there have already put a video out about it, and from what I can tell, it's a really solid radio. So I'm really liking the one that I got. I just didn't get it as early as some other people did.
Well, that's going to be my next radio I'm going to get, because I still got my ST2, but being my vision issues that I have and contrast issues, I have trouble looking at that LCD screen. Even with people that have normal vision, they have trouble looking at the LCD screen. And once I get that new radio, it's going to be an eye-opener for me, and I'm actually going to be able to function a lot better.
The screen on the FT3 is much better than the FT2.
Yes.
And it's like $150 cheaper than the FT2 was when the FT2 first dropped. So yes, it's a much better option in my opinion.
I think I spent about $550 for that radio, and then after buying all the accessories, I think I spent around $800, including the extended warranty from HRO. And now you can get that radio for about $450 or so, and it comes with a 3-year warranty now, already built in. You don't from Yaesu, that you don't have to buy that extended warranty anymore from HRO.
Right.
You can't beat that.
No, it's a great deal. I mean, it's still like $439, but yeah, it's a great deal.
Right.
For that.
And you can use your accessories from your FT2 as well, if you want to, which I plan on doing it. But other than that, my understanding is you can't use the same SD card that you have programmed for your FT2. It won't work. You can't. My understanding is you can't upload or write or read off the SD card to get it to work. That's my understanding. I'm hearing.
I have not tried any SD card features on the FT3. I know the batteries are interchangeable. Yes. And apparently the FT3 has a lower battery consumption than the FT2. You put the same battery on either radio, and the FT3 will run the battery down slower, so the battery lasts longer on the FT3. Even though it has a color screen, go figure. But yeah, that's what I've been reading and been told. So
the gentleman the gentleman that you did that podcast with, what is it? His suffix is UDA, I think it is. What is his name?
That's
John?
K6UDA.
Right. He did a deal about a week or so ago that I watched. And I don't know if he had it in digital at all, but he said that he had that radio operating before it went dead or whatever for 14 hours.
Yes.
And all different types of modes, other than digital. I think he was strictly doing, and I think he strictly had it in analog. And I think he used a little bit of the Bluetooth a little bit, but I don't know if he had Bluetooth on all the time or the GPS on all the time, or
I believe he had everything on because he was doing it specifically for the purpose of testing the battery. And he said the battery on this thing is fantastic, but he compared it to the 878 Anytone. He's like, man, that Anytone is so much louder. The volume on the Anytone is just second to none.
Right. He did say that the speaker was a lot better, a lot clearer, and louder than the FT2.
Yeah.
There was another issue with the GPS, where it's located on the radio, that you may have an issue with the antennas that you try to put on there. They may need to configure new antennas for it or something for that particular model. It's like we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, I guess.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
But other than that, I think it's a good radio. It looks sharp. I think it's going to be for somebody that needs a first radio. I think that's a great radio to have. Other than that, I know there's going to be issues with the Bofang radios. I understand, I'm sure you're aware of it, the FCC put out an advisory or a notification that, after September 30th, you're not going to be able to get Chinese-made radios anymore, or you're not be able to sell them, you have to give them away? Is that my understanding?
No, there's a lot of
radio.
No, there's a lot of misinformation on Facebook about that. Long story short, they said that China cannot. Let me think of the best way to word this. They said that
because the Part 90 radios versus Part 97 radios.
Right. So they said that U.S. importers can't import radios that are fully open transmit anymore, unless they're Part 90. So, which has always been the law. It's just they've never really kind of enforced it before now. So now what China is doing, TYT and Anytone, a couple of the other companies are doing, they're locking their radios down so that you have to do a certain sequence to it to unlock it. But the Anytone 878 and the TYT UV380 and the TYT MD 2017, I think, are all Part 90 radios. So it doesn't matter. They're all Part 90 type accepted by the FCC. So basically what it's going to do is cut out like these Baofeng UV5R type radios that are, some of the Baofengs are Part 90, or at least they're stamped Part 90. Whether they are or not, I don't know. Some of them are type accepted by FCC and some of them are not. But basically, the DMR radios are widely unaffected because a lot of those already had type acceptance, so they're not going to be affected at all. But there's a lot of misinformation out there. So I would say, number one, I would say always buy from a U.S. dealer. Always buy from a U.S. dealer. And number two, just make sure it has that type accepted sticker on the back of it behind the battery.
Let me ask you this. How are the Japanese DMR version radios? How are they compared to the Japanese versions that are coming out?
Do you mean...
Because my understanding is correct me if I'm wrong, but there are some Chinese manufacturers that are now making DMR radios, correct?
There's a lot of Chinese manufacturers making DMR radios. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, there's nobody in Japan's making DMR radios. Well, yeah, I don't think anybody in Japan's making DMR radios. Well, no, I take that back. Kenwood makes DMR radios on the commercial side, not up for amateur. ICOM does not make DMR. Okay. Yaesu does not make DMR. Vertex Standard, which used to be a part of Yaesu, is making DMR. But the Alenco DMR radio, which is Alenco's a Japanese company, that's actually made by Anytone, which is a Chinese company. So,
okay. So that Anytone radio that you've been promoting, and I see Eric and a lot of other people on YouTube have been promoting. That's a very very popular new radio that came out that's supposed to be very user friendly for somebody who has no idea what DMR radio is, or who never operated DMR like myself, can actually work it and learn it pretty straightforward. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. Anytime a new DMR radio comes out, it's always a little bit closer to being more user friendly than the previous version was. So yes, because that's one of the newest versions that's out right now.
Okay. Because I haven't crossed that bridge into DMR yet, because I'm strictly fusion and but other than that, I'm willing to try it, because I know if you have a DMR radio, it opens up the gateway to D-Star, fusion, DMR, and
it
so
opens
forth.
up the gateway to actually, I think what you're talking about is a hotspot. The hotspot will do cross connect between DMR and fusion.
Right.
But yeah.
Which if you don't want to spend the extra money to go buy a specific D-Star radio or fusion radio or whatnot, then the easier way to go about it, especially if you're a new ham and you're trying to decide whether you like the hobby or not. That's why they made those Bopang radios, to get people involved, and whether you like it, the idea or not. There's a consensus on that. I understand. There's pros and cons to everything, but at least that gives a person an insight or an avenue to take if they don't know which way to go.
Well,
Agreed.
I
Yes.
don't really know which way to go right now, other than it's getting late, and I think we need to end the show so I can go do a little editing and get me some dinner tonight.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Anthony, thanks for calling in, man. I enjoyed it.
You're very welcome. Tom, I always enjoy talking to you on the radio as well as on your podcast when you give me the opportunity.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to ask you earlier, I forgot to tell you on the radio, and I'm not sure if I brought this up, because I know there are a lot of people out there that operate off the grid. Okay, whether they live off the grid completely, but that might be a topic for people that may want to get that live, let's say, living on an island, let's say in Hawaii or something like that, and they don't have power coming into their home, and they're using solar panels, or they're using propane gas to run their appliances and so forth. But that might be another avenue to look into for people. That
we
running
can,
off
we
the
can
grid
do that, and of course it would have to be some type of power like battery or wind or something.
Right.
Right.
Very
I was
similar.
talking to a gentleman.
I was talking to a gentleman that used to have a luxury home, a mansion, and he had luxury cars, and now he's living in a small house with second, third, fourth, fifth use your cars, okay? And he's living like a king. And he uses golf cart batteries for storage and so forth. And he's like, I think this guy lives in Arizona. His suffix is OTG. I think it's W7 or K7. I know the guy. I'm talking to the guy. I think it's W7 OTG. And I know I've spoken to him on AmericaLink numerous times in the past. I think he's the guy, the administrator of AmericaLink on Fusion. And the guy is telling me he's living like a king. And he's like, I think he's living up in the mountains, like I think it's 7,200 feet. And it just blows me away how somebody like that can operate, and he's living like a king.
Yeah,
and
I'd like to get off the grid. In fact, I think my next project is going to be a little nuclear-powered generator. I think I could build one about the size of one of those little propane bottles, self-contained nuclear-powered generator, do the whole house, and it would run for like 25 or 30 years before I'd have to refuel it. So that's what we need to do a show on, get something like that, man. Now, my My only problem is I'm trying to search on the internet where I can get some plutonium or something, and I'm not having I'm not having much luck right now.
Yeah, a little challenging.
All right, well, guys, hey, we're gonna go ahead and
Thank you.
close the show down. Thank you for calling in, Anthony and Jason. Thank you for being with us tonight. See you next week.
Yep.
And I think Emmett's going to be with us next week. I'm sure Katie will be back next week. We may have a full house next week. Dave will probably be with us. Katie will be with us. Emmett, who knows? Martin, you may be with us. We may have 6 or 8 people in here. It will look like the Brady Bunch, believe me, once we get everybody on here. So thanks everybody for watching tonight, and don't forget, join our Facebook group, W5KUB. Don't forget to check out Jason's YouTube. This is called Ham Radio 2.0 YouTube series, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay,
that's right.
Ham Radio 2.0 YouTube series. Check that out. Subscribe to it, and join our Facebook group and join our net on Tuesday nights. And guys, we will see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night, Tom. Take care, Tom. Take care, Jason. 7-3.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer.
Yeah, hey, let's get
Just
together
type
and
in
do
the
a little
question.
joint thing and get it on.
Yeah.
We'll plaster all over my YouTube channel and also our Facebook group. And if you do the same on that side, if we can bring some new people here.
You're the man.
That'd be great.
I've been looking for this for weeks.
Yeah, when you were talking earlier and I was on mute, I put you on the email chain that we were on and replied to it, and I said,